Removing dried hide from a skull plate. William Hovey Smith, 2019. I'm the author of a series of prize-winning outdoor books, including Extreme Muzzleloading, and I'm also the author of a business book, Create Your Own Job Security, that says that you should have a series of jobs throughout your life to raise money anytime, anywhere you need it, whether you work for someone else or not. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And what I've got on my workbench today is a skull cap from a deer. And this was a little buck that I took, and I want to make it look a little more presentable than it is. Unfortunately, I didn't go ahead and skin it while it was still fresh. Consequently, this hide has dried on here for months. It's now spring, and this was shot in the fall, of course. And consequently, it is very, very hard and very, very tough. I use my pocket knife here to get very laboriously under the membrane that's closest to the skull and cut and cut and cut and cut, and finally manage to gnaw off, literally, pieces of hide with great difficulty, and put some real stress on this knife, including come near breaking the blade. Now, I found out some things. One, if you dampen the hide, if you wet it, guess what? It becomes flexible again. So don't do it dry. Go ahead, put it in a little water, and wet it. I also found it'll clean up nicely with a wire brush on a grinder. So that gives you finally a good finish. Otherwise, you have this material hanging on there. You can't cut it away. So we're going to soak this for a little while and see if I can't get the rest of this off a little easier than I did before. I went ahead and immersed it in water and let it soak for about 15 minutes. And that should be sufficient, I think, to rehydrate this stuff, or at least make it much easier to work. It certainly looks more flexible. Yeah, that is much, much easier. Now it's cutting off much cleaner than it was. So certainly if you're presented with such a problem, go ahead and soak it before you start cutting on it. You'll find it comes much easier. There is a temptation to either hold this in your hands or put it down in your lap, but don't do it, because this knife can slip or suddenly run through your hide, and you can wind up stabbing yourself. I'll still need to put this on the wire brush so that we get down to the smooth bone here in the skull. And I'm also going to straighten up this angle too, just for aesthetic reasons. This is an old style scroll saw made by Dremel, and it might be just the thing. It will just clear here, so we're going to see if it will work. And the saw did very well. I dressed it up across the top here on the belt sander, and now we'll see if we can get the rest of this sort of material off with a wire wheel. I'm going to use the abrasion tool on this Dremel to try to take off the last bit of this organic matter there, but nonetheless some will still remain on here. So before I'm done, I'm going to dust it with borax powder, because this thing has little mites in it. And there's enough protein still left on here to feed several generations of them. So I don't want to bring another species into my house that I don't already have. We live with quite a biological community here in this 150-year-old house anyway. Well, this completes our restoration of this skull cap here. And we now have the great majority of the organic material off it, except for the bone itself. Some little remains around the pedicle, which usually happens. So if you want to restore one of these, this is how you do it. You dampen it, you cut off what you can, put it on a wire brush, all right? Use a belt sander if you've got it. And that way you can dress it up and make it look good. Things not to do. Don't bleach it. If you put bleach on these horns, you'll turn them dead white. And you can put shoe polish on them and sort of restore them back to color, but best avoid that altogether. I've yet to put some insecticide on it, but that would be the final step. If you want to restore one of these for a younger relative, okay. Been hanging around since deer season? All right, go ahead and clean it up. This is one of my typical Pickup Tuesday projects, where I take some things that have been hanging around for months, and each Tuesday I allocate 2 hours to get them. Yeah, and so this is one of those. But now this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Besides backyard deer hunting, I have other outdoor books that talk about deer hunting. These include crossbow hunting, as well as extreme muzzleloading. Now, I also have a series of e-books specifically about muzzleloading applications that are inexpensively available from Amazon. And these include Muzzleloaders for Hunters, Shooting and Maintaining Your Muzzleloader, Hunting with Muzzleloading Shotguns and Smoothbore Muskets, as well as hunting big and small game with muzzleloading pistols, and I have taken deer with all of these. In Create Your Own Job Security, I advocate that a person start a whole series of businesses, perhaps even as early as high school. Then in college, take some business courses along the way with your major. Then, when you go to work for the man, you start your own little business on the side. And so, should you be suddenly laid off in your 40s and older, you have your own business already developed to fall back on. Now, Pickup Tuesdays is a concept originated by me to get rid of those projects that just been hanging around for months but are not particularly important and just don't ever get done. So, if this is you, then okay, allocate a couple of hours on each Tuesday of every week and get these kinds of things done. For more information on my books, blogs, and nearly 750 videos, go to my website, www.hoviesmith.com. For more information on my business books, go to createyourownjobsecurity.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.